everybody, and welcome to Turn 1. I'm Sean Fitz. It's a Wednesday night, and we're live for the 802 Gen 6 Cup Series right here on Turn 1. Kicking off the season as you would in any NASCAR league. You head to the beaches of Daytona and super speedway racing. Relatively foggy conditions here today, so we'll be dealing with that as we go through the afternoon. But nonetheless, we've got a pretty full field here tonight, and I'm excited to be calling this race. Let's got Miss Cooper in the chat tonight. Miss Cooper, thanks so much for being here. We've got some folks over on YouTube tuned in, ready to roll, ready to do some super speedway racing. Hey, Racer41, thanks for the sub over on YouTube as well. All again, just a phenomenal level of support out of so many folks here as of late, and we appreciate it. Really close to 500 people on Facebook following along for the ride, and the same over on YouTube, getting a lot of traction over there. So again, we appreciate it. This field's getting ready to roll off pit road. Their gridding's about wrapped up. Then we'll walk through tonight's starting grid. Qualifying is completed, and we're gonna go super speedway in here in just a few minutes. Before we get to In the Weeds on tonight's race as they roll off pit road, I do want to make sure I mention tomorrow night we are with the NCAA 11 Limited Series right here on Turn 1. Not going to want to miss that. And then next Wednesday night, we head on over to Las Vegas for 110 laps. Hopefully somebody's looking to get lucky after we wrap up this super speedway event here tonight. Let's go ahead and take a look at tonight's starting grid. CJ Erdman is going to start on the pole. Tim Rogers, P2. Row number 2, Tyler Humphrey and Johnny Barker. Alan Harris is going to start 5th tonight. Thomas Eskew is going to start 6th. James Hislop and Rob Lowell is going to start row number 4 here in that 8th place position. Michael Wolf and Carlos Ortiz is going to round out the top 10. Jeff Pogo, Josh Slater is going to start 12th. Andrew Chapman, Greg Holes, Courtney Nelson is going to start 15th. Steve Ritter in the 61's back up with us tonight. He's going to start 16th. Jim Ott, Grant Humphrey, Stephen Holmes, and Brandon Garan, your top 20. Aiden Tatro, Chris Brown, Dylan Knighton, Justin Marlarkey, he's going to start 24th. And Christian Herklotz is going to start 26th here tonight. Matthew White's going to start 25th. The rest of the field, it's Mason Hall, Jason Harrison, Daniel George Jr., Dylan Blackburn, Eli Raposa, Ryan Davis, he was fast at practice, Jameson Hill, Carson Cherry, Andrew Payne, Evan Fuqua, Scott Trost, and David Sharolin's going to start 38th. Looks like Landon Forrester and Payson Lindsay is going to start down on pit road. That is a very common strategy at a super speedway. Speaking of strategy, it's now. All the planning, all the hype, you've got to have it down tight because we're green flag here at Daytona. Green flag here as they come down the backstretch, winding these Gen 6 cars up. Erdman on the bottom in that 18. Kyle Busch, M&M's liveried Toyota. Got Johnny Barker to the bumper in that Valvoline car. And they're going to come down the tri-oval here and complete lap number 1 of 80 tonight at Daytona. Foggy conditions, a little bit more of a cooler track these drivers are having to work on. If you're new to super speedway racing, you've never seen it before, well, guess what? You're in for a treat. These drivers are going to spend a lot of time here tonight, 2 by 2, bumper to bumper, inches from one another, as you see Johnny Barker shoving that 18 car way out front there in front of Alan Harris. But here comes that outside line. That's the 88 of Rogers. Got the 92 of Hislop right there. Tyler Humphrey in the mix. And this is what you're going to see a good bit of. Side-by-side, bumper-to-bumper action here tonight. They're going to have to manage some runs. This is restrictor plate racing at its finest. So we ride on board with Tyler Humphrey. Watch that yellow bar. That indicates how much throttle this driver's got in it here. You see he's lifting, oh, nearly gets the 88 sideways there. As they come down the backstretch, nearly 200 miles an hour tonight here at Daytona. And I'll tell you what, this takes a special kind of driver to do, not even consistently, but do consistently well. And these Gen 6 cars are no different in the sim as they are in real life. They are difficult to manage all the way across the board. That bottom line, and our top 3, and Erdman, Barker, and Harris Jr. all settled in. Is the next driver in line there, but he's got that 88 out there, the 9 of Tyler Humphrey in the mix. This is kicking off the 802 Gen 6 Cup Series here on Turn 1. Want to say a special thank you to Rob Lowell for bringing us on board for Wednesday night action. We are with this group here for, goodness, I think it's all the way through late October. And this just continues to add to a week full of racing up and down the board. 4 nights a week of racing action here on Turn 1, and here comes that outside line. Speaking of racing action, Tim Rogers is going to take the lead on that outside line as the fog starts to lift, but he's going to have some trouble. Here comes the 9, the Mountain Dew machine. Looking down on the bottom, he's going to pick up some help there, and that's the 23 of Andrew Chapman. Chapman up here P2 for the first time tonight, shoving the 9 of Humphrey out free and clear. Again, we continue to see that top 4 single filed out, now top 5. Alan Harris being that last driver, then it's 2x2 on back. And that's, now it's going to be Tim Rogers. He's back there in that mix. He's starting to slide backwards a little bit. That's Thomas Eskew. Carlos Ortiz is back there. Rob Lowell, we were just talking about him. The 73 in this mix, Dylan Knighton in the 22. He is up 11 spots already on his way forward. Some sharp-looking paint schemes on track here tonight. Here early in the super speedway racing, you've got to be patient. You cannot be going too early. You can't be going too late. You got to know what kind of car you have. But at the end of the day, you've got to be there at the very end. If you've watched any Turn 1 broadcasts, we've got a new leader in Alan Harris. Tim Rogers took the opportunity to get the toe on that outside line. Harris was able to leapfrog around. Now he's going to take the lead this lap. But if you're new to the channel, if you don't already know, super speedway racing requires a level of patience, but it's also a wild card. Anybody in this field can win, and Rogers back on the outside. Another push out there, and he's going to have the help from the 23 of Chapman, and he's going to stay high. They get 2 cars clear. Can they get 3 on that outside line? This just shows you the runs these drivers are picking up so far here tonight. Across the stripe, Humphrey's going to lead. Rogers falls back. Rogers is all the way back to 7th after that run forward. Thomas Eskew is starting to make some progress here on the bottom. It's side by side, Eskew and Humphrey. As they come down the backstretch, these cars fully wound up now as we work lap number 8 at Daytona. That 42 is going to continue to poke the nose out there ever so slightly. And he has got Alan Harris right there in his tire tracks while it looks like, that's Tyler Humphrey and Andrew Chapman still together on that outside line. And this is what you call traditional super speedway racing right here, with these drivers battling it out early. And Daytona, all of a sudden, Harris all by himself on the outside line. It looks like Humphrey slid way back. He moved back here to the 8th place position. That outside line, not what it was 2 laps ago, and you're going to see a lot of this as the 23 is going to move up and pick up he's going to move up and pick up, goodness gracious, I am losing track. That's the 99 of Harris. A lot of folks over in the chat. Appreciate you being here tonight on YouTube. Daniel George, hey, Daniel, you're absolutely right. Need to ride it out. Junior needs to hang on here for a little while. No point in pressing the issue too much. You've got to be there at the end to make this make sense. And goodness, I think we just had a driver potentially run into an issue. We saw that event indicator down there. That was Ryan Davis. He is now down pit road. I wonder if he overheated that car or what happened. Either way, Ryan Davis being served with a meatball flag in overtime to come down pit road. Freaky Fast in the chat. Hello. Thanks so much for being here. Over on YouTube. YouTube is popping tonight. If you missed it, had a great race with the 802 group last night. Was an insane limited series dirt race on a Tuesday night. Came down to a last corner pass to get it done. If you haven't checked that out, I encourage you to do so. We got a driver heading backwards here on the apron. I believe that was Greg Hughes. Nope, I don't think it was. Either way, we had a driver move up there, or move down to the apron, and CJ Erdman now back to the front. Thomas Eskew on that bottom line. Here comes the 6 of Barker. He's going to slide up to the outside. He's going to pick up Rogers. And they're going to go for it. One driver I've not seen make a whole lot of moves here tonight. That's James Hislop. He's only up 3 spots so far. And just hanging out right now in that 3rd place position. Minding his P's and Q's quite a bit here early. As we're starting to see these cars get twitchy. Starting to see them jockey around for position. The 42's got the 18 well pushed out front, but these fuel loads starting to get lighter and lighter. Keep in mind, they're going to have to come down pit road right around lap 30 or so for fuel. And these cars obviously starting to free up more and more and more each and every lap as they get lighter. On top of the car feeling a little loose, you've also got the draft. And you got folks, especially if you're riding back, if you're being pushed. Say like the 18 here is Verdman. He's got to be able to keep a keen eye on the mirror and keep control of that car as they come down the backstretch. Let's take a moment here right on board. Michael Wolf in the 24. He's hanging out there in 7th place. Let's take a lap with the 24 car. Wolf holding a pretty well so far tonight at Daytona as they come across the stripe side by side. That's Johnny Barker starting to make some moves on the high line. New fastest lap there for Jamison Heth in that 01 car. Now keep in mind, he is able to leverage that draft. He is running back here at that 19th place position. Just hanging out in that Hot Wheels machine, looking pretty fine coming down the backstretch. Barker out front. He had a really decent showing through the heat races last night at Eldora. Now coming to a completely different discipline in super speedway racing. And right now, riding in that top line, he's got the 88 of Tim Rogers glued to the bumper. Is going to be credited with leading that lap. You heard me earlier talk about having cars clear. Well, there was 3 cars clear there, and Barker did not move down, so Tim Rogers is going to take advantage. Now Erdman's going to get the pull again down the backstretch. You see there's 2 different groups here. We've got the main lead pack here. This is, I think, the top, we'll call it the top 16, 18, the top 24 drivers or so, and then you've got Brandon Garand and a couple others riding around back here. That's 24th. That's Carson Cherry, 25th. Evan Fuqua, Andrew Chapman. He was up front just a little while ago. Now he's riding around at 27th. Matthew White, Mason Hall back here. Eli Raposa, Scott Drow, Stephen Holmes. Those drivers all hanging out in that second half of the pack. And this is, again, traditional super speedway racing at its finest. You've got to be there at the very end. And right now, we are working to complete lap number 17. knowing there's going to be a caution at some point, you want to try to stay out of the drama. So a driver typically has two different philosophies. Either you ride up front to stay out of trouble, as they're going to take you 3 wide up front, or you go to the rear. Mix of strategies at play, but I tell you what, Tyler Humphrey, he's in trouble. He was riding around in that middle line, trying to move up. James Hislop goes around. Big wreck on the front stretch. We talk about having the ability to get caught up, and that right there is Exhibit A. Hislop got sideways, but this all started with Tyler Humphrey in the middle and nowhere to go. Let's take a look back. All that checking up there across the front stretch, and that sends a lot of drivers through here. That's Greg Hull, Rob Lowell, Grant Humphrey, Dylan Knighton, Steve Ritter, Daniel George Jr. involved here. A lot of fast drivers were looking for a decent night, getting caught up here in a caution early at Daytona. We were working lap. Lap number 19 or 18 there. And the caution is out for the first time tonight at Daytona. We're going to step aside. We're going to catch our breath in just a moment. And they're going to catch up to the pace car, including Alan Harris here. We'll step aside. You're watching Turn 1. under caution for the first time tonight here on turn 1 with the 802 Gen 6 Cup Series at Daytona. And pit stops complete. Everybody come down pit road. This was a little early for what a lot of these drivers would want to do, but nevertheless, that's okay. They're going to have an opportunity to re-rack it and go back green flag racing here in just a few moments. Tyler Humphrey is going to be showing your leader. He's going to start on the inside of that road, number 1. Then it's going to be Michael Wolf and Alan Harris. James Hislop, who I could have swore we saw Hislop take a ride, so I'd be surprised if he hangs out into that position a whole lot. And maybe that wasn't Hislop either way. Hislop's here. CJ Erdman, our pole sitters, back here in 5th. Tim Rogers, Johnny Barker. Remember, Brady ran in that one car. He was running back there in 25th, 24th. Well, he is now up here running 8th. Josh Slater, 9th. Matthew White running up the top 10. Into the restart zone they go, and green flag back out for the 802 Gen 6 Cup Series. Everybody gets a clean start as they come down the backstretch, and as I talked about at the beginning of this, it takes about 2 laps for these drivers to get up to speed. Tall gears and a lot of draft, a lot of racetrack for these drivers to have to cover. With the 24, the 92 out front, the 9, the 88, the 6, and the 99. All making up this field, but side by side they come across the stripe. Hislop leads on that outside line. He's going to move down to the bottom and pick up. He's going to pick up there. Who is that? I believe that's Michael Wolf down there. It is. As they're going to go down the backstretch here. Josh Slater looks like he is going to have a mechanical failure here, and he is slow down the backstretch. That car looks like he will be retiring. Meanwhile, this top 10 group starting to fan out just a little bit. It's Hislop, Wolf, Rogers, Humphrey, Barker, Harris, Matthew White, CJ Erdman, Brandon Durant, and Evan Fuqua, your top 10. And this is where we're going to start to see a lot of the drivers caught up in that wreck, running a little bit of a second pack, trying to hang with one another, maybe in different levels of damage, affecting the speed of these cars for these drivers. So that's going to be a race within these packs, so a couple different races up and down the racetrack. Across the stripe, Hislop goes here in the lead, leading some laps early. We're working lap number 25. We mentioned running on board with a couple drivers tonight. Well, we've also got a camera on board with the 6th of Johnny Barker. Let's ride on board as he sits here running 6th on that outside line. Tell you what, this action up and down the racetrack, it is intense racing with Hislop leading, but Garand now is going to take a charge on that outside line. He's got Barker there on the push. Those drivers get a little tight here. Again, new tires and full fuel for these drivers for the first time tonight. After those pit stops being completed there, right on lap number 19. But this action heating up and down the racetrack. This top 14 or so, top 20. I'm sorry, not top 20, top 12. Really looking to make some runs, and these guys have separated themselves. So the last car in this group is Mason Hall as Garand gets a push from the 6. He's going to take the lead down to the apron. Garand gets super out of shape, is able to save it, doesn't lose it. And we stay green at Daytona. An impressive save out of Garand. They're going to lose a lot of momentum down there on the bottom. Here comes Johnny Barker, Matthew White. They're going to have a bit of a run. Matt White's going to take the lead on the inside. They ditch the 6. I think Johnny Barker's going to start collecting some names after that with the 8 car. Taking the lead, and Barker has been up there, shoved several people on that outside line up to the lead, and then they never end up staying with him or getting him clear. He's going to fall all the way back now here to 7th place. Meanwhile, new leader Matthew White. He's got CJ Erdman attached to the bumper. Tim Rogers, Garand, after that incredible save, he's going to fall back to 4th. On that inside line, it's settled in. Two lines are going to split. White's going to go to the high line. He's got Erdman with him. Meanwhile, Tim Rogers on the bottom is going to have the one at Garand. Tucked in. James Hislop is in this mix as well. You see Michael Wolf hanging out, Tyler Humphrey. Alan Harris in the top 10. Rogers on the outside, on the inside. And this is just the nature of super speedway racing. You've got to have some buddies. This track lends itself. You've got to have a teammate or mates. You've got to have several people with you, and if we get around the green flag pit stops, which is entirely possible here tonight in Super Speedway, with the Super Speedway racing format, we get to green flag stops, you're going to see some drivers have to pick and choose when they come down and who they come down with. That'll certainly be a big factor under green flag conditions if stops were to materialize here at Daytona. Stopping on lap number 19 means they will have to stop one more time before it's all said and done. They will need another load of Sunoco race fuel on board. I don't see anybody. No, there's just no way anybody's going to make it all the way to the very end here on that load of fuel. The more I continue to watch it, this outside line is just impressive. It's Matthew White out there, and he's got the 18 glued to the bumper. And they have had some killer runs. Over the last 20-25 laps on that outside line. We've seen him really get some pushes. We were just talking a moment ago about Johnny Barker and the moves he's been able to accomplish out there on that outside line. And the folks he has been able to push to the front. And again, just an impressive showing of speed out of these drivers. And ultimately that one wreck there early, catching a lot of fast guys out. It looks like Daniel George Jr. called it tonight. Ryan Davis did as well. Courtney Nelson is down pit road. He's no longer running. Payson Lindsay's down pit road. Josh Slater's running a couple laps down. That was Steve Ritter. That's who I was talking about a little while ago. That was not James Hislop. That was Steve Ritter that got caught up there. Christian Herklotz is also continuing to run here, but off pace and a lap or two down. Speaking of, they're going to catch some lap traffic here. All being led by Matt White and the 18 car, CJ Erdman. Also looks like Tim Rogers starting to build a run again with the 1 and the 6 right there with him. They catch the lap traffic and going to move to the high line. This is going to hold up Hislop. They're going to catch him in a really interesting spot. Coming right out of 4 here. You want to get this passed up before the tri-oval. It's going to get real tight. Lap traffic's going to run to the bottom. Hislop's going to get clear. Humphrey's going to have to deal with it. Same with Michael Wolf. They're going to squeeze by. And now if you're that lap down car, I believe that is that Herklotz? It is. Can he use this draft to his advantage? Looks like he's going to be able to. He's got the pace to run with this lead pack, and now that's a bit of mercy for him, right? He was running around there by himself and was able to get caught back up into the crowd and keep the speed rotting in that air bubble now. A lap down, but running within the top 10 drivers. Another story here to be thinking about tonight is the coming goers and how often we have seen these drivers make some moves, right? Well, let's talk about it for just a moment. Jamison Helm, he's running back there in 9th. He's up 25 spots. Evan Fuqua is up 23. He's running 12th. But more importantly, our leader, Matthew White, out there on the top spot right now. And he is up 22 positions so far here tonight. And you can't rule anybody out when it comes to drivers being able to get up here and get to the front. Again, that super speedway format lending itself to being anybody's chance to win. And any of these drivers would love to walk away from Daytona, the first race of the season, with a check mark in the win column here early for the 802 Gen 6 Cup Series. Johnny Barker having an issue. He is slow. That car, I'm not quite sure what happened here to Barker. He is down on power. I don't know if he hit the wall or what, but Barker down on power and falling through the field. He's going to come to pit road. Heartbreak moment for the 6 car. As we work lap number 39 of 80 at Daytona for the 802 Gen 6 Cup Series on Wednesday nights. You can find us here on Turn 1 every Wednesday night for the foreseeable future, and I appreciate it bringing me on board. If you haven't heard, I'm Sean Fitz. We're glad you're here. We're watching some fantastic racing on a Wednesday night. We just saw Steve Ritter. Man, that car, I think Ritter just blew up and the caution's out. I think Steve Ritter had an issue coming by the field there. And it looked like that car blew up on track. He slid to the bottom and the caution comes out. Let's take one more look at that if we can. Some smoke coming out of that car, or just pumping the brakes. I'm not quite sure what happened with the 61 there, but either way, the caution out for the second time here on lap number 40 of 80. We're going to step aside. We're going to see some of these drivers, I believe. Well, no, I know we're going to see some of these drivers come down pit road. Maybe some fuel strategy at play. Now's the time to go get a snack and get ready to come back. Green flag racing. You're watching Turn 1. A little pit strategy in the works with Alan Harris and that 99 car electing to stay out while pretty much everybody else coming down. Jamison Heth, James Hislop, Mason Hall, Matthew White, Michael Wolf, CJ Erdman, and others all hitting pit road. A mix of strategies out of some of these drivers. Some taking fuel only, some taking 2, some taking 4 tires and fuel. I tell you what, as I mentioned, this caution kind of falling in a really interesting place is going to spice some things up here on track as we get ready to go back green flag racing. Harris has been in the mix all night, but that 01, we were talking about him a little while ago, and Jamison Heth up front, and that 01 Hot Wheels car into the restart zone, and the green flag back out here at Daytona. That bottom line starting to get connected again, all being led by Alan Harris. He's got Hislop down there, Matthew White. White, that 8 number Goodrich, or that Goodrich number 8 car. Let a run a few laps here. Through the second quarter of the race, as we'll call it. Now running around back there in that 6th place position. That 01 car, Heth out front though, holding his own. This lead pack still 2 by 2. As we start to see the clouds lift a little bit, the fog dissipate, and we're going to see the track start to heat up. The more that sun comes out, you're starting to see it reflect off the cars ever so slightly. Oh, that outside line really got checked up. Big check up on that outside line. They're not rolling anywhere near as well. That looked like when everybody got loaded up in the corner, it threw them off. Now 4 cars single file down on the bottom. Matthew White thinking about taking it to the outside. He wants to be on the point, but so far he's going to hang down here on the bottom. Well into the second part of this race here, and these drivers are going to have to start considering what they have for each other in the competition and how you're going to make some moves, right? You obviously don't want to be leading this thing at the last lap, because that draft is going to be a really powerful tool that your competitors can use against you. But if you're sitting back here in this 10th, 12th place position, and where they're back here 2 by 2, you've got to figure out how you're going to get running up front. And you need to understand how long it's going to take you to get there. We'll see a lot of 3 or 2 wide racing as we've seen so far tonight, but it is not uncommon to see some 3 wide action at Daytona, especially towards the end of the night. Riding on board here, this is Carlos Ortiz and that 59 car, running 14th at the moment. A lot of off-throttle time here for Ortiz. You hear him lift and trying to stay off the rear view too much. I believe that's Carson Sherry. It is. See Ortiz here in the back bumper. It is tough to hang on to these cars as they come down the backstretch here. This draft, it looks like it's pretty easy to do. You just hold a straight line, follow the guy in front of you, but I can assure you it is not as easy as it seems. CJ Erdman, though, certainly makes leading look easy. He's back out front here as Alan Harris is going to go to the outside. Harris has been very competitive tonight. Qualified towards the front here and has been back and forth in the lead. He's going to take that spot back away from CJ Erdman and the 0-1 of Jamison Head. Gonna take that spot there on the inside. Alan Harris. Tell you what, we're gonna have to keep a close eye there on that 99. But here comes the 0-1 of Heth. He's gonna retake that lead. He's gonna slide down from the top. This is a move we've not seen him make here. Is that transition? We've seen him up high quite a bit, but now gonna move down here as they come to lap number 49. These laps are starting to click off now. These drivers come back around. We'll have 30 to go here at Daytona for the 802 Cup Series. And all the give and take, you know, that's been going on. There's been a lot of patience with one another. I'd say ultimately this is a lot of patience as Mason Hall's going to get a shove by Michael Wolf. And Dylan Blackburn on the shove as well. He on this outside line. Some newcomers up here to the point. But all the patience that these drivers have been utilizing is going to start to go away. And you're going to start to see these runs and folks take these positions. And wow, what a shove this outside 5-6 car run has been able to do. All of a sudden, they are out there to the point. And Alan Harris now falling back to 8. Remember, Harris did not come down pit road. That was lap number 19. The last time he came to the attention of his crew. He's going to have to stop one more time. When does he do it? Well, that's going to be the question. Meanwhile, Mason Hall leading the first time here tonight with Michael Wolf, Dylan Blackburn, Carson Sherry was really quick last night at Eldora. Again, now coming Super Speedway Racing. He's running 4th. We were riding on board with Ortiz. He is the first car on that outside line right now. Josh Slater is going to come down pit road. First time we've seen Rob Lowell up here in the mix under racing conditions in the top 10. And like I mentioned, strategy at play here at Daytona. I know we've seen a lot of folks in the chat on YouTube. We're past halfway here. We're actually less than 30 to go at this point. I'm curious, who do you think is going to be able to bring home the checkered flag as they get 3 wide back here? They're getting a little sporty. That's Rogers. Matt White's in this mix. We also saw Tyler Humphrey back there. 3 wide racing. As Hall and Blackburn side by side. Who do you think's got what it takes to get it done here at Daytona? Is it getting the clouds continue to lift? I'd love to hear from you. Make sure you say hello in the chat. Again, I appreciate you being here. Michael Wolf is going to come down. Slide into that inside line here. That outside line was the dominant line, now starting to come apart. We saw Mason Hall come down to the bottom. Heth is going to move to the outside. He's going to pick up the 87 of Dylan Blackburn. And they're going to try to make a run here on the outside. Coming through 1 and 2, right to the bumper, the 0-1. He's got to lift just to not to get into the bumper pretty hard there. You don't want to do that in the corner as much as you can, but here's where you lean on it. And just like that, that is how you get a driver up there. That was a massive run with the 0-1 and the 87, but now here comes Blackburn. Huge run on the outside. He's got the 0-4 with him of Carson Sherry. Oh, we've got Carson spun. Oh, big outside wall impact. Several drivers take to the pit road. We've got Carson airborne. I see Tim White involved. I believe that was CJ Erdman we saw on this roof. That car is destroyed. Our pole sitter not going to be there to bring home the checkered flag tonight. We saw Matt White get involved. Let's see if we can find out exactly where this all took place. Keep a look at that the M&M machine down there. Oh, just huge contact. White loses it. Then the AT just, gets caught there. Man, Johnny Barker hard on the binders, able to avoid that incredible stop for Barker. And that is going to bring the caution out once again. Dylan Blackburn leads with the caution out of lap 55. Now, I will tell you, this is the break that Alan Harris wanted to get. Remember, last down pit road, lap 19. He's going to be able to come down, top off with fuel. I suspect we could see a couple of these other drivers doing the same. We're going to step aside one more time here while we're under caution. You're watching Turn 1. Not as much pitch strategy as I thought would have come up here, but that's okay. We're getting ready to go back green flag racing here, as they're going to take lap number 58. And Man, we're closing in on 20 to go at Daytona. This is a perfect reset for a lot of these drivers, being able to step back just ever so slightly, catch their breath, and run down to the final laps here. It's all going to begin with DJ Blackburn, Carson Cherry out front, Carlos Ortiz, Michael Wolf, Dylan Knighton, Randy Garan, Eli Raposa, Jeff Pogo, your top 8. Meanwhile, some others here electing to come down. That includes the 01, the 90, the 23, the 99. And Alan Harris, he's got to deal with some traffic now. He's going to restart back here in that 18th place position. Chris Brown, Grant Humphrey, and the rest of the field all elected to come down pit road. Gonna go back, green flag racing here with 22 to go into the restart zone. Dylan Blackburn takes the green flag. Dylan's gonna move up and pick up a bit of a tow here. That's gonna open the door. Carlos Ortiz on the bottom. That outside line did not get quite up to speed. Ortiz is going to lead. The 96 is going to move up. I'm sorry, that's the 46 of Eli Raposa. Yeah, no, I was right to begin with. That's the 96 mislabeled as the 22. Ortiz is going to move up, try to block that run a little bit. Raposa in the mix, the 04, Carson Cherry up here as well. Ortiz in the 59 continues to lead that outside line. Everybody else just in cruise control. Then we get 2 and 3 wide racing back here. 3 wide, 2 rows deep. With Andrew Chapman, Mason Hall. It is getting tight. And again, keep in mind the 99. We've seen him up here running quite a bit. He is back there at 16th, and he's got all this traffic right in the windshield. Oh, he's going to make contact with the wall, the 99. He's going to get off of it, but that is going to set him back quite a bit. Let's switch over to the 01 here. Jamison Heft as they ride around. As I mentioned, you've got 2-3 wide racing all over the racetrack with this group. Ortiz is going to be your leader as they come out of turn 2 with 20 laps to go for tonight's 802 Gen 6 Cup Series season kickoff here at Daytona. On turn 1, we got racing here just a little over an hour ago. Under some dense fog all day today, and the sun came out for a little while. Now it's starting to get a little overcast on the track again. This track's going to tighten up as these drivers look down the barrel of another 19 laps of side-by-side racing from inches of one another at 200 miles an hour. Got a lot of names up here in the top 5. We have it in really the top 8. Evan Fuqua's running 3rd. Aiden Trados running 4th right now. Eli Raposa's fairly new up here to this mix. As Brandon Garand is going to make a charge forward. He's got the 70 of Fuqua with him. Getting hard to see there through the fog. We're going to do our best to give you the best show possible with the cameras. Somebody needs to talk to the weatherman, get this stuff sorted out. we're talking about some names that we've not talked about all night. How about David Sharon? He's sitting there in that 5th place position. And this is, you know, you heard me talk about it a little while ago. These guys are going to start getting the push on. They're going to start to get moving here. No point in starting to hold back. If you don't know what you've got now, you may be in trouble. You've got to have your wits about you. You've got to know what the car you have and what you need to get up there to get to the front. We're seeing a 3-car or 5-car breakaway here. Starting to pull away from the 0-1. And again, we're starting to see this whole top 10 really fall apart. I would have not have expected to see that, but again, not a lot of runs in the mix here. You know, we were talking about Johnny Parker in that 6-car for a while, or a little while ago. He needed to come down pit road. He was well under pace, come down pit road, and somehow back out here in the top 10, hanging with some of these drivers. Some impressive speed. Side by side for the lead pack, that's Fuqua. On the outside, trying to make a move on the one of Garand. We've got cars sideways down the bottom of turn 3. That's going to bring the caution out. That was Eli Raposa that went for a ride there. Let's go back and take a look at this one more time. Keep a close eye on that 8 Budweiser machine on the bottom. That's just that draft getting bunched up, and then, oh, the 96 sending him around. A couple cars getting into the wall post that event. And that's going to see the caution out here once again at Daytona. On lap number 66. We're going to go back green flag racing here with about 12 to go. No, we'll call it 11 to go. And again, just a reminder, we are back live next Wednesday night with this group as we head to the desert of Las Vegas. Somebody's going to be lucky as we visit Las Vegas. And then in 2 weeks' time, we go short track racing July 29th in Bristol. It's all going to be covered right here on Turn 1. Tomorrow night as well, it's worth mentioning, the NCAA 11 Limited Series comes back to you live with the Sim 500 gang, and I am obviously always excited when the Sim 500 group comes on board. The NCAA 11 Series is heading. They are heading to, yep, we're going to Echo Park, going to Atlanta tomorrow night in the ARCA car. Then we go to Bristol 2 weeks' time on Thursday. So a lot of racing action. We are covering racing now Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday on Turn 1. Make sure you get connected. You're not going to want to miss a single lap of racing action up and down the board. Johnny Barker's going to come down pit road. Justin Malarkey's going to do it. Grant Humphrey, Tyler Humphrey's also hitting pit road. Chris Brown, Stephen Holmes, a lot of these drivers potentially with a little bit of damage they want to try to get addressed. Meanwhile, the 70 car of Evan Fuqua leads. We're going to step aside one more time. You're watching Turn 1. Dylan Blackburn, Evan Fuqua on the front row. Carson Cherry, Brandon Garand, Andrew Chapman, your top 5. As Jeff Pogo is going to restart 6. Jamison Heath, Dylan Knighton, Mason Hall, and Landon Forrester, your top 10. As we get ready to go back, green flag racing here with about 11 to go at Daytona for the 802 Gen 6 Cup Series here. Remember all that give and take talk we were talking about? It's all gone out the window now. It is everybody for themselves as they see the green flag back out here at Daytona. By the way, keep in mind, you heard me mention Landon Forrester in this top 10. Well, right now he's running 9th, and he is up 30 spots. Remember, he started on pit road. We talked about all the different strategies these drivers get to employ here at a cup track or at a plate track. And well, right now that is playing to Forrester's benefit as we're back green flag racing. The 70 has got the 1 pulled up to the bumper. The caution's out again. We've got, that's James Hislop. Spun down to the bottom of the racetrack. Let's find out what brought this caution out. Oh, maybe some net code for sure. They're all hard impact. Into the wall. I believe Carlos Ortiz may have been involved in that as well. And the caution's going to be out here once again at Daytona. Evan Fuqua is going to be your leader now. This is really going to shake it loose a bit. They're going to go back green with 9 to go. Pace car lights are off as we get ready to get back green flag racing here at Daytona. 70 of Fluke was going to retake the lead with about 8 to go. Brandon Grand, Dylan Blackburn, Jeff Pogo, Carson Cherry are top 5. This is going to get really, really interesting with these drivers up front. Again, cautions tend to create cautions. You can look at our race tracker at the top of the tower there. We had a pretty decent long run for the first half of the race, and then right at the halfway point had a caution, and then another 15 laps later that we've had back-to-back here. Pace car down pit road. The 70, the 1 on the front row. They're going to hit the restart zone. Green flag back out. We're back racing at Daytona. That bottom line gets rolling. The 70 car is going to pick up the 87 of Dylan Blackburn. Start to drive forward a little bit here. Dylan's going to move up nearly. Gets into the left front of Brandon Garand. Come on. Oh, no. Caution out again. And Eli Raposa spun around there. Looks like he has got some damage on that car as well. Let's take a look here at Raposa. Inside line. Oh. I don't think that was any of his doing. Just getting caught up in it. Going to bring another caution out here. Patience starting to wear thin while laps are starting to wind down for some of these drivers. Meanwhile, the 70 of Evan Fuqua is going to certainly take all the laps behind the pace car he can certainly get. Dylan Blackbird's going to restart second. Brandon Garand, Carson Cherry, Jeff Poga, Landon Forrester. Jamison Heath, or Heth, Mason Hall, Michael Wolf, and Andrew Chapman, your top 10. Let's take a quick look here. Well, that is not the graphic I was looking for. We will get rid of that. We wanted to take a look here at the lap leaders tonight. We've had quite a few of them. CJ Erdman, he's led 10. Right now sitting in 30th. Alan Harris had a bunch, but Evan Fuqua was going to quickly take the lead here under this caution and laps led. We've seen Matthew White up front for 8. James Hislop was up there for 7. He is unfortunately, I believe, if he's not called it tonight, I would be shocked. Taking a look here at my running order. Mr. Hislop, where are you at? Yep, you're back there in 26. He has called it an evening. He is not running. Dylan Blackburn has led 5, and he's right there in that top 2 position. Mason Hall, Tyler Humphrey, Carlos Ortiz. So a lot of leaders here tonight. Let's also take a look at here at some of the biggest gainers once again. Fuqua up front. Remember, he started back there at 35th. So this is a huge gain for him. He's up 34. Landon Forrester up 33. He's running at 6th right now. Remember, he started on pit road. We were talking about him just a little while ago. Carson Cherry, Carson the Catfish. He is running 4th right now. He's up 32 spots. So a lot of movement up here in this group. And let's obviously just take a recap here of where we are. Again, working lap number 75. Under caution, we had 21 lead changes and 6 cautions for 17 laps tonight. Remember, we were talking about some of the weather factors here. Obviously, air temp 77 are relatively cool. That track at 90 degrees. Cloudy. Humidity is obviously way up. It's Florida, so we expect that. But a lot of action up and down the racetrack here as they ride behind the pace car once again. Alan Harris getting an EOL penalty there from race control. Not quite sure what that's about. If you're still watching over on YouTube, thanks so much for being here. We're getting ready to go green flag racing. Goodness, I think it's going to be right at 4 to go. As they get grid up here, running side by side. That 70 car has been running the bottom, had some great restarts here. I suspect we won't see anything different out of Evan. He's looking to really cap off this race with an opportunity to bring home a checkered flag. Not to say it's impossible though, but man, is it tough to be leading with 3-4 laps to go and be able to bring home the victory at Daytona. But he's got the pace, he's been leading. He's gonna be the overall point or the lap leader here. When they go back green flag racing, he's got the pace. He's been able to hang up front. Find out what he could get done there, and that's 70 car. Meanwhile, Dylan Blackburn riding just on the outside here. He's in kind of a really decent spot. He doesn't need to push the issue. If he wants to get down or behind the 70, he probably could on this restart. He also has the opportunity to just ride around behind the leader and potentially get that big run on the white flag lap. If they get to the white flag lap, it is a free-for-all. The next flag, or the checkered flag, will end it. And this is where the super speedway racers come into fruition. Now, keep in mind, we're talking about these top 5 drivers quite a bit. But we need to talk about maybe the 8 car. Yeah, that's a good one. Of Matthew White, he's led some laps. Tyler Humphrey, he's back here 15th. Chris Brown, we've not heard a lot from him tonight. Stephen Holmes, Johnny Barker, Eli Raposa, a lot of these guys back here running 16th, 18th, 20th. They have a chance to run up front here at the very end, given the right circumstances. So keep close eye on that scoring tower. We'll watch some of these drivers move forward. Green flag is out. Coming across the stripe, 4 laps to go. Fluke will lead to Daytona. That outside line pretty tight. It's Blackburn. As Fluke will get shoved way out of shape. He's going to try to move back up. It's going to be 3 wide back here for that driver. Meanwhile, Dylan Blackburn's going to take the lead. He's got Carson Cherry with him. 3 wide back here, car into the wall. Garand is trying to get a run together on the bottom. Blackburn's going to lead, 3 to go. Action all over the racetrack. We're going to stay focused in this front pack. Cherry's going to stay glued to the bumper of Blackburn. Landon Forster's up to 3rd in that 30 car. We got a car in the wall. That may have been Andrew Chapman. Out front, though, Blackburn is going to lead another 1-2 to go. Three wide. We got a car sideways. Can they save it? They do. Blackburn. Oh, we're going to have more cars sideways here, and the caution's going to be out. That was the 4 getting sideways there, and man, really tough to see these drivers have the issues they're having, and that's going to bring the caution out. They were coming to the white flag. Dylan Blackburn is going to be Scourger leader. We're going to go to NASCAR overtime. And you see the textures on these cars. refreshing. Obviously, we've got some number and livery issues going on. Not sure if that's us or the league. Either way, Dylan Blackburn leads. Carson Cherry, Andrew Chapman, Tyler Humphrey, Jeff Pogo. Your top 5. We're going to step aside. You're watching Turn 1. Pace car lights are off, and we're going to go to NASCAR overtime. That means we're going to see some post-regulation activity here at Daytona. And Dylan Blackburn, Carson Cherry, Andrew Chapman, Tyler Humphrey, Landon Forster, your top 5. And let's talk about NASCAR overtime. If it's your first time here watching a race going to overtime, they're going to come back to the green flag. They will race all the way back around. If they see the white flag, they're going to race all the way to the checkered. No stoppage. But if for any reason they don't get back around to that white flag and they see another caution, they'll have one more opportunity to re-rack it and go back green flag racing. Dylan Blackburn had really solid control out front. Now he's got the 04 of Carson Cherry. We saw Cherry be really competitive last night. But that was a whole different discipline in dirt racing. Can he get it done here at Daytona? We're going to find out in just a lap or two. The 23 car of Andrew Chapman. Tyler Humphrey in the 9, the 97 of Pogo, the 39. Landon Forrester, Chris Brown is running 7th. Tim Rogers, Mason Hall, Johnny Barker, your top 10. Man, I tell you what, it feels like just a half hour ago we were talking about Johnny Barker being down for the count. Now back here fighting for a top 10 finish at Daytona. Into the restart zone they go. Dylan Blackburn sees the green flag for overtime racing at Daytona. Blackburn free and clear out front. Carson Cherry hanging on. Tyler Humphrey making some moves here. Moving up to that 3rd place spot. Here comes the 23 and the 30. Blackburn moves down to block that bottom line advance. That's Chapman. They're going to wreck again here in turn 4. That's going to bring the caution out again. This is going to be a lot of the top 5 cars involved. I show Michael Wolf in the mix in this wreck and a couple others. Let's go back here and take one more look at it all. That's Johnny Barker. We see Matthew White backwards. Let's go back one more time here. Middle of the pack. Oh, this started up there with Carson Cherry. The 01 and mixed into it. Barker had nowhere to go in the grand scheme of it all. The 01 still spinning there, and man, that is a tough watch for a lot of these fast drivers. But as I mentioned, this now is an opportunity for a lot of these guys to get up here and run in the top 10. Dylan Blackburn still leads. Andrew Chapman. Jeff Pogo is going to restart 3rd. Chris Brown's 4th. Landon Forrester 5th. Garand. I tell you what, that one car, he's been up here battling, and he's going to restart 6th. Mason Hall, Tyler Humphrey. Evan Fuqua, that 70 car, he's going to be back up here in the mix. Stephen Holmes. Justin Malarkey is going to restart 11th. Grant Humphrey, Tim Rogers, Matthew White. The 14 drivers left here so far on the lead lap. Trying to get a view down pit road. We got several drivers down pit road. That is Johnny Barker. He has just found a run of bad luck here tonight. Meanwhile, we're going to see some folks come down pit road. I suspect this is to get some optionals taken care of. Maybe find a couple final RPMs in those cars. And Carson, man, oh no. Hell yeah, I guess, says Carson Cherry in the YouTube chat. Carson, I'm so sorry, man. That car looked pretty quick up front tonight. And I know that is not the result you were looking to come out here with the season opener. We were talking about drivers down pit road. It looks like Stephen Holmes is there. Matthew White's down there. Landon Forrester is coming back down pit road again. Those optional repairs getting wrapped up. Some of these drivers electing to take a couple. We're going to step aside one more time and re-wreck it, because guess what? We're going to the final opportunity for a green-white checkered finish here on turn 1. Another opportunity and a green-white checkered finish here. And we're getting ready to go back. Racing at Daytona to wrap up the season opener. And Carson mentioned Cherry Motorsports ran 1 and 2 basically the entire race. So what a debut from us. Yeah, I tell you what, Carson, you're not wrong. I firmly and fully expect you guys to come back and continue to run like that each and every week, right? Hope to see you there, my friend. Thanks for being here tonight. Dylan Blackburn going to take the green flag here once again, and one more opportunity to get this wrapped up under green flag conditions. As we're gonna get ready to call it a night on Wednesday night, the 802 Gen 6 Cup Series rolls on to Vegas next Wednesday night, right after we find out who's going to bring home this checker flag at Daytona. Pace car down pit road. Blackburn, Chapman, your front row. Green flag is out over time. Take number 2. Blackburn with a huge jump out front. He's going to move up, try to block. Bogle. Here comes Garand with a massive shove. And now, Jeff Pogo on the bottom. Garand on the high line. Side by side as they come out of 4. Garand with not a lot of help on that outside line, but they're going to see the white flag one more time around here in Daytona. Brandon Garand's got to find some help, and he's going to have to do it in a hurry. Free and clear out front. They're big wrecking on that outside line. Green flag's going to stay out. Wow, big push out goes Dylan Blackburn. Brandon Garand leads down the backstretch. Now, who's going to get to the checkered flag in one piece? Garand moves down the block. He's going to control both lines. No run on the outside. Your winner here tonight at Daytona, Brandon Garand. What a wild finish in the books. Evan Fuqua's going to finish second. And Jeff Pogo is going to finish third. Grant Humphrey, Dylan Blackburn. Not the result he's going to be looking for here tonight. He's going to finish 5th. Mason Hall, Andrew Chapman, Steve Holmes, Matt White, and Chris Brown, your top 10. We're going to step aside here. We'll talk to the top 3. It's a post-race coverage. You're watching Turn 1. A wild night in the books here for the 802 Gen 6 Cup Series on Turn 1, man. I'll tell you what, super speedway racing as a whole is very difficult at times, and this just shows you it's not always as easy as it looks as Garand burns it down. Let's quickly grab second place, the number 70 of Evan Fuqua. Evan, congratulations on a Well thought top three. That car looked pretty quick all night here. What was your strategy coming into Daytona tonight?
On and be there at the end. That was the main goal all night. And Grant had damage. He got it all fixed up there at the end, and he got back to me there. And I knew he was going to be with me the whole way. I just wish I would have went lower a little sooner. I could have had Brandon there.
Evan, we saw that top line really look like being the advantageous spot, especially when you're getting runs, but we also seen that top line really difficult to hang on to the car and keep it from getting tight in the corner. What was your experience up there and being able to manage the runs all night?
That top lane was definitely where you wanted to be, but bottom was the safest option. There at the end, everybody just started pushing. There was no give at the end there. It was all take. So just hold on and get where you can. It worked out in my favor there.
It certainly did. Finishing P2 in the season opener. Evan Fuqua was going to finish tonight here at Daytona in a solid spot. Evan, thank you for the time tonight. We'll see you next week in Vegas.
Thank you. See ya.
And with that, we will grab race winner Brandon Garand. Brandon, congratulations. This has been a long time coming, my man. We've seen some incredible runs with you at Sim 500 at times, but now a Daytona champion season opener. This has got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, it's that one's got me tired, Sean. I'm not gonna lie to you, but yeah, I couldn't have done it there without the teammates Pogo and Chris Brown on that restart. And it looked earlier we started up in the front, and I kind of got shuffled out, and I was like, well, there goes my chance. And got lucky, got back up there, and yeah, we come out on top. It's been a while.
Brandon, we saw that it's really hard at times to really check the runs up, especially when they get ahead of steam on them. As you were coming coming out of turn one there and knowing what was happening in the rear view, what was your thoughts going through your head there and knowing you needed to keep those guys behind you as you come out of four?
Well, so I had, like I said, Pogo was behind me. He's my teammate, and I knew he was going to give me the shot down the backstretch, and he's saying we got to block Evan, and he blocked Evan going into three, and then he said he's going low. So that's where I went down, blocked Evan's run, and then kind of just went back up and tried to pull Pogo back up in front, and at least he got a podium spot out of it. We didn't get the 1-2, but yeah, I couldn't have done it without the teammates there. That's all I know.
Brandon, obviously, the Super Speedway is a great equalizer, but next week we head to Las Vegas where the racing is going to be a little bit more diverse. How does it feel to have this victory in the pocket early in the season? Now you can go focus on having a little bit of fun and really putting some effort in at some of these non-restrictor plate tracks.
Yeah, that's the hope. I mean, we kind of did this, like you said, in Sim 500. We did the season opener in the truck, and we got the Daytona win there, and it kind of went downhill after that. Didn't have many good finishes, so hopefully that doesn't happen here. It just feels good to get a win, and yeah, I mean, just to capitalize, like you said, going forward, and just kind of hopefully will send the momentum going.
Well, he was able to find the momentum on the last lap, find a checker flag, and looking to keep it through the rest of the season. Brandon Garand, your winner here tonight at Daytona. Brandon, thanks for the time. We'll see you next week in Vegas.
Yeah, thanks for the broadcast, and I just want to give a shout out to my kids for letting me race, Bryson and Brody, and yeah, again, thanks for the broadcast, Sean. You do a great job.
Thank you, sir. Brandon Garand, your winner here tonight at Daytona. Let's quickly grab Jeff Pogo, who brought home a top three finish out of, I won't say out of seemingly anywhere, qualified pretty solidly in the top 15. Jeff, walk me through your night here at Daytona in this last couple laps.
I think it was your typical super speedway stuff, especially first race of the new league. You're trying to get used to people. Some guys were a little overzealous tonight, should have relaxed probably a little more, but I do not like super speedway racing, so come away with a podium feels good.
I certainly hear that. It takes, obviously Daytona and these super speedway tracks have their place, and it is not easy though to have consistency, and especially new season, some new talent in the field, and trying to get that read, it certainly takes a lot. But good news, we head to Vegas next week, we head to Bristol, and then New Hampshire over the next 3 weeks. Where are those three tracks I just mentioned lend to your talent?
I'm going to say all of them. Honestly, any flat track is pretty good. So New Hampshire I'll be good at. Bristol, surprisingly I don't like it, but I'm actually good there. And then mile and a half, anywhere that I can rip the fence, you better look out.
Jeff Pogo setting the tone for what the rest of the season could look like with the top 3 at Daytona. Jeff, thanks for the time tonight.
Yeah, thanks, man.
And with that, we'll wrap up race coverage of the 802 Gen 6 Cup League right here on Turn 1. I am so thankful for this group bringing me on board. Another show on Turn 1. We are broadcasting 4 nights a week. And I cannot thank everybody enough for all the love and support over the last, really, the last 6-8 months. Last year has been huge. And without the viewers, without the drivers, the thousands of laps and hundreds of races, we wouldn't be where we are today. On behalf of League Admins, I'm Sean Fitz. Thanks so much for being here. We'll see you tomorrow night for NC 811 ARCA Racing here on Turn 1.